Yo, what's up, LA Sparks Weekly fans? That's right, we are back. It feel like we've been away for a long time. All these road games for the Sparks, but Michael Matthew here with DJ Treacy Treats with LA Sparks Weekly. The Sparks are coming off of, I shall say, an embarrassing loss Saturday morning after picking up their biggest win of the season against the Las Vegas Aces. Tonight, DJ, they are going to be short. No Kelsey Plum. You got no, I got to think of the name. Odyssey Sims.
No Julie.
You got Julie Ottoman, who is out of here.
I mean, the hardship is hardship in the day. I got that email and I put it on the LA Sparks Weekly story like, oh my God.
I couldn't believe it. I was reading the list like, nah, this got to be, I thought it was WNBA Centaur or something.
Exactly.
But it was actually what the team has to deal with tonight. What's your thoughts of the short-handed Sparks tonight in this tough matchup against the Storm?
I'm going to give y'all an early dose of toxic positivity because that's all I got at this point. I think that the team is actually probably in a better place. Because when you don't have that go-to player, you got to lean on your other team members, share the ball a little bit more, and not make the silly mistakes. Coach was talking about the turnovers from the last game, talking about the defense, didn't even call it basketball. She said she don't even know what it looked like out there.
Maybe it was too early. That's what I was thinking.
That's exactly. All these games in so many different ways, and the times is stacked, and the WNBA schedule is crazy. Fans, I know y'all are complaining about that. But today I feel like we have a clean blank slate. This is a new team that we ain't never seen. Nothing to lose. We got two new hardship players. So the Sparks have their work cut out for them, but not more than we would already have.
Yeah, but shout out to Rickea Jackson, who is going to be leaned upon heavily tonight, coming off of a 30-point game. Followed that up with 18 against the Lynx. What do you expect to see from her tonight? It might need to be another 30 if they want to pick up this dub.
I think Rickea is going to be in double digits. Azurá Stevens is going to be in double digits. And Nneka Ogwumike is going to be in the double digits. We're going to see more of a big three today from those three. More than we've seen before because we don't have as many ball handlers. So we need to get the ball out over half court and into the hands of our offensive scorers as soon as possible. We can't wait. We can't play around.
And all three of them are, you know, front court players. So they want to get closer to the basket. You know, but it's going to be interesting to see who's bringing the ball up, who's initiating the offense. Everybody. When you're without three of your point guards. I'm like, DJ, you ready to suit up?
Hey,
or what?
I was ready. I'm like, I got the AU1s on right now just in case I got a hoop.
And you know, it's just them trying to bounce back, get this win. They're 4-8 right now. Just trying to get stuff right, you know, with this team. Coach said, hey, we're not putting our head down. We're going to continue to push forward. What is it to see that from your leader, that the leader is like, hey, we still going to figure this out. We still going to be competitive. It's on me and my staff to get them right. What is it to see Coach Roberts step up and say things like that like we saw in the presser?
This is exactly why I think Coach Roberts was the correct choice for LA. I think she's a hungry, gritty coach that's used to working with whatever pieces she has. When you come out of the Pac-12, a very competitive environment, and you can't even recruit the top players, even recruit mid-level players. She started recruiting some of her girls back in middle school because she needed to keep that pipeline going. And then some of them didn't even choose her. And she continued the relationship in the pros. She's that kind of woman. I like this matchup for her. I like the fact that she's experiencing hardship early in her coaching career because we're only going to see better from Coach and this team tonight.
Hey, we see a legend in the house tonight for the Sparks. Nneka Ogwumike is in the building. It's like the rematch. It's the Sparks versus Sparks. You got Lexi Brown over there, Zaya Cook. What is it going to be like just to see them back here on this floor? I was able to tap in with Zaya saying what's up, able to talk to Nneka. Like, what is that feeling going to be like for the fans to see them?
I think it's going to be a lot of nostalgia, but we are not rooting for those people. They are not on our team anymore. They are the ops. But, of course, we always want to see Nneka be successful. We want to see Zaya. I think the Sparks fan base is going to be really happy to see Zaya get more minutes because she didn't get as many minutes playing for the Sparks. So we're going to get to see Zaya in action. We also going to maybe get to see Lexi. I'm not sure how many minutes she's been getting so far, but I think today would be the day that they would bring her out to play, see how comfortable she feels coming back.
It's going to be good to see them out there. It's going to be a tough competitive game. They're dealing with some injuries as well, but not as many as the Sparks. So, DJ, for the Sparks to pick up this win, it's going to be tough. Who's that player that needs to shine the brightest for LA to pick up the win?
I think undoubtedly that player is going to be Azurá Stevens. The scouting is going to call for Nneka Ogwumike. The scouting is going to call for Rickea Jackson after a 30 piece. Azurá wide open.
Yep.
Keep them hands ready, girl. We know you can hit them threes. We need 4 or more in order to close this deal today.
Facts. I'm going to go with Rickea Jackson. She ready to hoop,
Yeah.
fly, kicks on her feet,
Comfy.
ready to go crazy in the Skechers. Like I said, I'm looking for a 30-piece win, and a win or loss, the team is going to need it to be competitive tonight.
Facts.
And I trust in Miss Jackson to do her thing, man. So we're going to be with you after the game. Hopefully it's a good game for you Sparks fans. Michael Matthew, DJ Treacy Treese, catch you after the game.
Happy Tuesday.
Hey, Coach DJ, LA Sparks Weekly, welcome back.
Thank you.
My first question is, we got the notification just like the rest of the world with so much hardship. My question to you is, how do you adapt? First time coaching, how do you experience this where Sparks fans have maybe had it in years past, but this is a brand new thing for you to have such hardship? How do you plan going into the game, and how refreshed do you feel with that plan?
Well, it's my first time in the W, but I've coached a long time, and I've had a lot of players with injuries, and it's part of it. And I've learned through the years that you have to just keep plugging along. And the bigger deal I make of it, than the bigger deal the players make of it. And we're not going to use any excuses, right? So we certainly have hit some adversity, but that's part of sports. And sometimes you feel like you can't catch a break. But you just keep getting up and chopping wood, and you will catch a break. So that's my mindset. That's how I live my life. Like, just keep getting up and working, and treating people the right way, and as a staff, being as creative as we can with the scout and game prep, and you keep fighting. That's it. Yep.
Hey Coach Jackie Ray TV. We talked at practice, you said that, you were looking out for Skylar, Nneka, and Erica, and now, right after that, Kelsey went out. So what's the game plan with De'Erica and the rest of the team to really shut them down?
I don't know if you can shut those guys down, right? But, we have our hands full, and but I do like our game plan. I do think our players have bought into doing what we can to disrupt what they're so good at. We're not going to hold them scoreless, but we do want to try to get them away from what they really thrive in doing. We'll talk after the game, see how it worked. But I feel good about our group, and they have done a tremendous job of not focusing on things we can't control. We can't control the injuries; it's part of it. But what can we control? We can control our focus, our effort. How we play, how this is a game where everyone's got to lock arms and push in the same direction for us to be competitive. So sometimes those are fun games to play in. Yep.
Hey Coach, you've mentioned how much of a luxury it is to have a player like De'Erica who can pass like she can out of a post position, but with your 3 primary ball handlers out, could we see De'Erica like a point guard? Is that something you've ever envisioned?
Well, I will not divulge that. We're gonna move her to the 1. No, but I don't think De'Erica gets enough credit for what she's doing. If you look at her numbers, I'm going to use your question to kind of give her some flowers. If you look at her numbers, and when I say numbers, I mean points, rebounds, efficiency, double-doubles, steals, assists, rebounds, she doesn't get talked about enough. She just doesn't. And what she does for our team and how reliable she is, she should be in those conversations with some of those other guys that, that have those same numbers with Fee and Stewie and Asia. De'Erica's putting up the same numbers, or similar numbers. And she needs to be in the discussion more.
Hey Coach, going back to dealing with the injuries that you guys have, bringing in players, Grace Berger, Shea Petty, I guess kind of what's key to kind of getting them acclimated in such a short amount of time? At some point, it's basketball, right? But how do you kind of get them, familiar?
Yeah, well, it's you got to do it in a microwave, right? It's got to be fast. But like Shea Petty, just total pro. She landed at 1 a.m. on Saturday morning in Minneapolis, and we played at noon. So how did we get her acclimated? Probably not as well as, not ideally as much as we'd love to, but she was great, and she's been a sponge ever since, and we've met with her and we've done a lot of extra stuff with her just as a staff to get her familiarized, but so much of it, as we know with basketball being a team sport, there's a lot of chemistry that goes into playing with each other for a while, so that takes a minute, but in terms of her getting caught up with what we're trying to run and all those things, she's done a good job. Grace got in last night at about 8 p.m. So, we had a coach take her to dinner and kind of go over things, and then we met her early this morning on the shoot-around court. So it's, you do the best job you can, and these players it's impressive that they show up ready to go.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. Coach, strategically, how do you approach a game when you have 3 active guards, and like we've all been talking about, 2 of them have been with the team for, one less than a day, the other probably a weekend?
It is what it is. We just got to do the best job we can, and instill as much confidence as we can in them. I've liked both those guys for a long time, in Grace and Shay. They're good players, and so we just got to do it, right? There's no other way but to just attack it head on and get them as acclimated as we can, and put them in positions where they can be successful. There is no magic pill. It's just we got to do it.
Coach, considering the first half in Minnesota wasn't your vision of basketball.
It's well said. That's very nicely put. I don't know if I would put it that nicely.
Well, what are the 3 keys you need to see this team start with as soon as the clock starts tonight?
I think we need to be super aggressive defensively, and I don't mean pick up 94 feet, but there needs to be an intensity and an urgency defensively, and it's got to be everyone connected in that regard. But to your point, we were so bad that first half of Minnesota, it was embarrassing for all of us. And they did respond in the second half, so I'm pleased with that. But we had put 3 pretty good games together, and then that we just kind of laid an egg there in the first half. But so I want to see, and it was defensively just. Okay, it's over. I need to let it go. Let it go. No. So I want to see more urgency defensively. That kind of thing. Offensively, we've got to take care of the ball. The turnovers on Saturday were atrocious as well. And then I think, it's a game of possessions. We've got to do a good job on the boards.
Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. Coach, yesterday at practice, we knew that Odyssey wouldn't be playing. After that practice, Kelsey was ruled out. Could you provide more details just on when that injury might have occurred, if there's any further information on the extent of it, and whether, it's expected something to be lingering beyond tonight?
Yeah, we'll see. It's a lower leg issue. She had imaging done Sunday, and at this point, we don't know. When she, one thing about KP is she does rehab and recovery, and she's so tuned into her body, she'll know when she's ready to go, and she's not ready tonight. So I don't know, but that's going to be on her and the medical team to figure out when she'll be back. Hopefully soon, but I really don't know.
Thank you.
Yep.
Justin, right eye.
I know you're only a quarter of the way into the season, and you have 3/4 of the way left to go. But when you keep seeing the injuries rack up, can it be frustrating that you still, you knew Cameron would be out for a while, but can it be frustrating that you have not really seen what your team can be even this far into a season?
Well, I can choose to be frustrated, or I can choose to be, present and coach up the group that we have, and believe in them and pour everything I have into them, which is what I'm choosing to do. And I've done this long enough to know that injuries are part of it, and it's almost impossible to go through a season without it. So I have 2 choices: to focus on the frustrating part or to focus on what I can control, and that's coach my guts out for the group we have.
On more last question.
Yeah, Coach, De'Arca and Kelsey were the best duo in the league coming into this week.
Yeah.
Is there a third player or another player staying out in practice you want to be that third player kind of in a big 3 sense? Is it Rickea? Is it another player like that you want to really stand out?
Well, I think we have a couple. I think Rickea for sure. I think Rickea, everyone in this room knows her potential. And she has done a really, really good job since coming back from being out. I'm incredibly proud of her. She's working super hard and doing everything we're asking her to do. Her talent, when you think of Rickea, you think of just potential. Like I don't think she's come close to how good she'll be. And so yes, I don't want her to feel pressure about she's got to be the big three. She's just a sophomore, but and then Azurá Stevens I think has proven to be kind of a linchpin for us when she's making shots. Things seem to be easier for us offensively. So I think those two, when we're playing our best, they're being productive.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you all. Appreciate it.
What's going on, LA Sparks Weekly fans? You already know me as DJ Treese, and I'm standing here with a certified shooter, Emma Click Cannon, y'all. Emma, you've been going on a tear with them three-pointers. Can you talk about what it's like to fall into this rotation and have such success with three-pointers?
Man, my dad always said, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. So, in practice, I'm always working hard. I'm always competing with Z, getting up extra shots. So when my number is called, I'm ready.
So let's take me back to Media Day. We was joking around on Media Day. You had us all lit. How's the team morale since then? You talked about keeping it light and, being that part in the locker room. How's that going for you?
Oh, yeah, still the same way. I'm still that leader. I'm still going to have my voice, try to lead everybody, stay positive. But, we still goofy as hell, man. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah.
So, new coach, new system. Where do you feel like the team is and where you feel like y'all about to be at to show the fans?
I feel like we're still building. I still feel like at the end of the day, if you really think about it, you take time back. Like, we really only been together a month and a half. So, as we still learning each other, but we still getting it. And I feel like it's brick by brick, day by day, but I feel like we headed in the right direction.
Okay, final question. Y'all caught the aces slipping. Okay. Do you see a repeat happening today against the Storm? Talk about the energy before the game today.
I feel like we're capable of beating anybody, especially in this league. So I feel like as long as we're on the same page, everybody on the same page, we go out there, we play hard, we communicate, I feel like anything is possible.
Thank you so much, LA Sparks Weekly fans. Emma Cannon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Same.
Yo, what's up, LA Sparks Weekly fans? I know. Another tough one. It's like I'm saying this after every home game. I'm getting upset. But the Sparks fall tonight, 98-67 here inside of the Crypto.com arena, making it 2 straight defeats, 2 blowout losses. But some of it was kind of expected. DJ, what did you see from this Sparks team with us coming in knowing it was going to be a tough one?
Yeah, I mean, this team was honestly the ghost of the Sparks past, is what I like to call them. We had a lot of players who played right here in the Crypto.com arena.
Yep.
A lot of them had a homecoming tonight. Nneka Ogwumike being
she
the
was
legend,
crazy.
the great that she is.
Yeah.
We know how she acts in this building, and she did exactly that. We were shorthanded with our guards. They did, the hardship guards did it
Yeah, they
the
tried
best
their
they
best.
could.
Yeah.
We were holding up a fight initially, but
Yeah.
they just got the best of us.
Yeah, that first half, they kind of showed you a little something. Defensively, they did some things. Offensively, they did a little bit. They went down, only down 10 points.
Yeah.
Once again, it's always a quarter that kills them. They were outscored 28-14 in that third.
It's the
put
third.
the game away.
Yep.
They went from down 10 at half to down 24, and you knew it was over. But Coach had to expect it.
Yeah.
If we expected it, that team had to know what they were dealing with because the Storm is a veteran-laden team that plays well together, and they're doing some really good things. But Coach talked about it. We're going to hear her talk about it. But defense, what did you see from the defensive effort from the Sparks team tonight?
I think they could have gave more effort. I mean, that we could have just went a little harder, do the little things that make a difference.
Yep.
The coach was talking about live ball turnovers. That's a huge thing. We saw a lot of that happening. I think when you're playing a team like the Seattle Storm, there's very little room for error already.
Yep.
And then when you do have multiples, it's just kind of snowballs on top of it. That's what happened here.
Yeah, and, they got a lot of young players that, can learn from each and every game. They're getting a lot of minutes. SA's, she's here on the side. Y'all can't see her, but she's here
Friend
on
of the show.
sideline.
Shouts
Friend
out to
of the
SA.
show. Shout out to Sarah Ashley Barker. But it's just a lot of learning that they can get from this situation. And I know you don't want to lose, but losing can lead to the winning. It don't just happen right away. It takes some time. So they're doing exactly that, and they're trying to figure some things out, trying to get healthy.
Yeah.
When you see all these star players on the sideline, you know it's going to be a long night, and we got that. But don't just listen to DJ and I. We got Coach, we got Sarah Ashley Barker, and Azurá Stevens with the post-game presser.
Coach Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. Given the circumstances, valiant effort in that first half, but obviously far from what you want the outcome to be. Was tonight just like a glaring example of how, pivotal Kelsey is to this offense and how much she's missed out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we miss her, we miss Odyssey, we miss Julie. Those are our 3 lead guards, and none of them are here. Yeah, I mean, it was, the second half was we couldn't get a stop. And then, we're trying to execute stuff that, and I thought Shay and Grace did a good, they did what they could, but it's hard to execute stuff that they've had so little time to digest. It just, it's not anyone's fault. It's just that's the reality. So I thought they competed, but that point guard spot is obviously very important. So yeah, I'm more concerned about our defense right now.
Hey, Coach, DJ, LA Sparks Weekly. I'm back.
There you go.
Yeah, I got some videos up there. Unintended consequences. Sanaya Fagan got some great minutes tonight. Can you talk about what you saw from her?
Yeah, I wanted to give her a shot here, and just see if she could bring some life. We needed some life, and I think she didn't connect on those shots, but she still brought life and talked. She had a great block. She's a big, strong kid, and she just brings energy. She talks, all those things. So we can build on that with her.
Hi, Cameron Ruby from the Next. Sarah Ashley, I saw Kelsey giving you a good amount of coaching and pumping you up on the sideline. Obviously, you'd rather have her on the court, but can you talk about what she was saying to you and what it means to have kind of her leadership on the bench?
Yeah, I mean, she's been the leader pretty much to me ever since I got in LA. Just having her voice, and she has so much experience, so I'm going to listen to anything that she says. And she always just is telling me just to have fun too with the game of basketball. And so when we were on the bench, she was just like, hey, they're going under you, like just shoot the ball. And so I think in the fourth quarter she like smiled at me when I made that three because she literally just told me like, can I have her read it? But being able to have that presence and her be able to teach me in any way, it does mean a lot.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. This is for Z. Z, you had a double-double, but what can you do for yourself and for the team to stay encouraged during this stretch?
Yeah, I think, like Coach said, obviously we have key people out, but we have enough to still execute and get things done, and it starts defensively. So, just try to lead more with my defense, and just build on the positive things. Not everything was a loss tonight. There's still things we can build from. So just taking that and moving on to the next game.
Michael Matthew here, LA Sports Weekly. Coach, this is for you. When you have your young players on the roster, they get to face off against a team with so many veterans. What are some things that you think they can learn from playing against these players that have been in the league for a good while?
It's a good question. I think, I think what makes Seattle tough is, like you said, they've got a lot of vets, and they're disciplined with what they run. They're very execution driven. And they know how to get, I think that's the lesson, right? Like, you want to be great, you got to be able to execute what you're trying to get. And I think they're very deliberate with that, they're very intentional. You can throw something at them, but they're still going to go back. Like, they do a good job with that. And I think that's what our young players and our whole team, we can learn from that in terms of, that's why it's so important to all be on the same page and execute.
Coach Eric Memphis, the second Culver City Observer. Today you had a palindrome in a box score. You had 42 rebounds, 24 turnovers. I know one of the things that you have...
22 turnovers. 24 total team. Thank you. Yep.
I know one of the things that you have been emphasizing was team rebounding. I'm curious, after a showing like tonight, what are some of the coaching points in terms of highlights and just coaching points that you plan on emphasizing after tonight?
Highlights? Yeah. I don't know yet. I need to watch it back. I'm not feeling too highlighty right now. But like Z said, and I preach this, there's always if you lose, there's things you did well. If you win, there's things you gotta get better at. The turnover, we had too many live ball turnovers that just leads their fast break. There's a lot of things we got to get better at, and again, it is what it is, but not having any of our point guards, I think, showed a little bit. But regardless of that, we've got to be able to defend. We can't give up 98 points and expect to beat anybody. So we got to hone that in. I know I'm not answering your question, but I'm having a hard time coming up with my answer.
Let's sign it for sure.
Hi, Holland Kaplan with the Sporting Tribune. This question is for Azurá. You've been having a super successful year, so what is your mindset going into games like these and knowing what you need to bring?
Yeah, just trying to be consistent. I just try to bring the same energy every night, and it's been working out, but I just try to be consistent, approach every game, being aggressive, and knowing, the things I need to do to help the team be successful, just trying to bring that energy every single game.
Jared, second row, left side.
Hi, Azurá. You spoke about not everything was a loss. Is there anything that you can point to at this particular time that you can, explain, share with us that not everything was a loss?
Yeah, I think we showed signs of fight. Like we pointed out, Sanaya gave us great minutes. And, even Shay and Grace coming in, they did the best they could do. It's hard to come in, in 24 hours and try to run a whole team, So I think, we showed signs of fight and we have to build on that. But, we'll regroup and we'll watch film so we can really see what the positives were and then build off of that.
Hey, Coach, right up here. BJ Matthews from the Peach Basket. So you said defense you're really focused on. Is that more so like on-ball defense, off-ball, protecting the rim? What is it that you want to really focus on going into?
Fill in the blanks, man. All of it.
All of it.
So I thought, just ball screen coverage, containing, rotations, flying out to a non-shooter to leave the shooter open. The 2-9 help defender. There's just a lot of things, and again, I think Seattle, you have to give them some credit. They've
force you. They just learn their stuff so well. They played together a while, and you know, with that starting group, they're all vets. And, you know, we had 3 hardship players on the floor at one point. There's a reality to that, and that's not an excuse. We need to be better, but I think you got to give Seattle some credit.
Coach, as you put it, you're not feeling highlighty right now. With, you know, this being kind of a bit of a downer, losing by as much as you did, how do you know, what are those conversations like to keep kind of that encouragement in the locker room, knowing what you guys are going through, knowing that, hey, man, this is what it is right now?
Yeah, I think, you know, you can't panic, you can't freak out, you have to maintain perspective. I still believe strongly in this group, and we're not even close to full strength at all. I mean, we had Kelsey Plum, Odyssey Sims, Julie Allemont, Ray Burrell, and Cameron Breakout out, right? And when we're going into the season, we're thinking, you know, Kelsey Plum, Odyssey Sims, Julie Allemont, Ray Burrell, and Cam Breaker are all going to be huge parts. So we cannot lose perspective. I think what we're going to gain is players like Essay, Leatu, guys that are having to play maybe more than we thought coming in. They're going to have that experience, and that's going to make us better. So we have to just maintain the course, and yeah, it's frustrating, but the sky is not falling, and as I always say, the sun's going to come up tomorrow, and we have a choice. We can re-attack, and regroup and re-attack is what I always say, or we can feel sorry for ourselves. And I'm not going to do the latter. I'm not. Yeah.
Jackie Ray TV, SA, this one's for you. Coach has talked about you always want to do the best you can, but sometimes you're a little hard on yourself as well. Can you kind of evaluate this game tonight, and are there some things that you were hard on yourself about tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I want to finish at the rim better, but KP kind of looked at me and was like, you're not intentionally going in to miss, like, don't be mad at yourself for missing it. And I think that's something that's going to be a learning curve for me. Just don't get down on the shots that I feel like I need to make, because, like, it's going to come back around. Like, Coach has always been in my ear just about, hey, if you miss that one, all right, cool, you're going to make the next one, make the next one. If you miss that one, make the next one. So just really just continue to kind of engrave that in my head, but also just knowing that I have confidence from every single coach, every single player, every single vet. That kind of ups my spirit a little bit. But that's definitely just something that I just have to work on mentally, and I'm going to try to get better at it.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
See you on the 29th.
So we're back. We just heard from Coach, SA, and Z.
Yep.
They talked about this game. Some positive that they saw, some things that they know they have to improve and get better at. Coach looked a little frustrated, but you know.
That's how you know she cared.
Hey.
And that's why I love Lynn, friend of the show. She is very passionate, and she's not gonna just blow smoke. In the press conference, she's gonna show the frustration. She's gonna shoot straight, and she's gonna talk to you like you are in her locker room. I almost feel like we on her team when we be in the press conferences. Right.
Hey, she gonna give you that energy that you need. It took them a little time to get back there to the presser, so you know she was talking to her roster. And I think she's the right coach for the situation, and it's just gonna take some time. They understood that going in. Even with the loss, they only sit 2 games behind the 8th seed. So they're battling, but they just need to get healthy. They need to figure out some things, and that's a part of this WNBA game.
But you know what I like? What Coach talked about? I asked about Sanaya Fagan. Because when things are going wrong, you usually can get some positives out of there. Those unintended consequences that we've been talking about here for the last 3 years on the LA Sparks Weekly Show, right?
Facts.
So we got to see Sanaya Fagan play.
Facts.
Right.
Good
so
minutes.
Those were some good minutes that we saw. She had a great block. She's a defensive-minded player. I would like to see her a little bit more offensively. But again, she hasn't been thrown into the mix at all. And Coach said she wanted to give her a chance. She brought the energy. So though the offense wasn't there, we're starting to see how some of these younger players can play. SA was just standing right here next to me. Sarah Ashley Barker is a dog. Okay? She's going to get the rebound. She's going to hit the three-pointer. It was one where she turned over the ball. She got the ball back and hit the three-pointer.
Put a smile to Kelsey Plum.
To KP. So these are the things. Those are the writings on the wall that we should be looking for to know that once this team is healthy, they're going to be a great team.
And the Storm is a team that has played. This is their second year together. Playing. So they have that.
And they got the same coach, okay?
Yeah, same
they got
coach,
the same coach,
system.
same system. They got Skylar Diggins, who she gonna give it to you.
She gonna do her thing. Gabby Williams gonna play some defense. They just
Ezzy
got some
Magnavore.
pieces, yeah.
I mean, there was so many people. There was blocks. There was, it was everything
They did
happening all at
everything
once.
tonight. And, the Sparks, of course, they scored the lowest amount of points of the season with 67, but it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time. They got to get healthy. But, hey, before we get out of here, we always give you our player of the game.
Yes.
But we got a special guest, the one and only, my Clipper friend, Jovan Roberts. She's going to start it off with tonight's player of the game.
Thanks, Michael. It's Jovan Roberts here with tonight's player of the game, and my pick is going to go to Azurá Stevens. She had a double-double tonight, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and we talked to her during the post-game conference, and she spoke about positivity. She said tonight everything wasn't a loss. She does want to lead with more defense. Just because they had a tough game tonight doesn't mean this whole entire game was a loss. The Sparks have to be better to do less turnovers and just get in the paint more, but Azurá Stevens has faith and belief in her team to turn it around for the next game. That's it for me. Back to you guys, DJ and Michael.
Thanks a lot, Jovan. So she went with Z. And Z had, like she said, 16 and 10, doing her thing. That's who you picked before the game. Is that who you rolling with?
That's who I'm rolling with, and I hate to keep saying I'm right. I knew based on the scouting they were going to go against De'Erica Hamby. They needed to stop the double-double machine. They had to calculate who could they take out that would make the most impact, and tonight that was De'Erica Hamby while she was missing her partner in crime, Plum
KP.
Dog.
Yeah, so they made it tough. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go with the player who led the team in scoring, Rickea Jackson, doing her thing. She had it tough tonight.
She did.
Gabby Williams is a dog defensively. She made it tough for her quickness and length, but it's a great learning lesson for Rickea to learn different ways to go and get these buckets, get to the foul line. She was 8 and 8 from the foul line tonight, so she's learning. It's only year 2. She's a sophomore in this league, so she's going to continue to learn. So shout out to you, Jovan, for tapping in with us. Shout out to you, LA Sparks fans, for tapping in with LA Sparks Weekly. We will see you. It's going to be a road game.
It's going to be a road game.
So live streaming, doing our thing. I hope y'all lit. We won't be back in here until June 29th.
For the jersey retirement.
The Candace Parker jersey retirement.
Get your tickets.
Against the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese is going to be in the building. So it's going to be lit. I hope to see y'all here. If not, come check us out live for the next game on the road. For Michael Matthews.
Wait, Michael. I'm going to close out the show.
Let's do it.
Sparks fans, I know you watched that press conference and you just talked to Coach Lynn. So here's my call to action to finish the show, all right? The season didn't start how we thought it was going to start, but we all have choices to make. The LA Sparks is your team, right?
Facts.
We are here because this is our team. So continue to support the Sparks while they are going through this. You can get up tomorrow on the internet and talk about how trash the Sparks are, or you can sit, be patient, listen to the players in the press conference of what they said, find some positives, and not beat our team down because they are doing the very best that they can. So get your tickets. If you have not been in Crypto.com Arena, make your way here to show your Sparks some love. This is the time where they need us to pull up the most, okay?
They need that support from their fans to show them some love. We need your support here with LA Sparks Weekly so that you can get all of your LA Sparks fix with us. So, hey, we see you guys next time.